Welcome to the Nano Corner, a new series dedicated to small aquascapes. Today the theme is ash and fire. I use real lava rock and sand personally collected in Italy, with locally foraged wood, burnt using an ancient Japanese technique called Shou Sugi Ban. The plants represent flames, and the fish glow like embers, perfectly complementing the composition. This is the first of my 4-part Nano Tank series. Let's get started right away with unboxing the CO2 gadgets. Alright, first thing we have is a drop checker kit. We have 2 diffusers. This is the IO diffuser acrylic series for aquariums below 150 liters. And then we have 2 small U-bends with a suction cup. And we have some clear CO2 tubing. This is 6 meters or 20 feet. What do we have here? A t-shirt. It's a little tight, but it fits. And then we actually have the star of the show, which is the Pro Elite Series V2. It's a dual-stage CO2 regulator with next-generation precision, and it's built for serious aquascapers. So I guess I'm a serious aquascaper now. The good thing with this CO2 system is that you can add extra manifolds. So with this system, I can connect 4 different tanks, which is super cool. I'm super curious to see what's inside. Right, what is this? Welcome to the aquascaping family. Thank you very much. Alright, so we got some contacts here for the wall. I will be using this one since I'm in Europe. Okay, that's the power thingy. Ooh, that's the bubble counter. We have a tool to tighten it, I guess. I think I have 1 million of these laying around. And this is the actual regulator. So here's where you can connect another one of this. This is the manifold. Not sure how you're supposed to attach it, but I guess like that, with these screws somehow. Then we have the diffuser, which has a check vault and a few suction cups. Bend that I was talking about before. So you put the tube here that goes to the system and the tube here that goes to the diffuser. And then you put it on the aquarium like this. Well, yeah, this is the aquarium edge. You get what I mean. Comes with a few suction cups. Then we have the drop checking kit. See, this is a drop checker. You put this CO2 solution in there, see how many drops half full. Usually it's like 15 drops. So you take this and you 1, 2, 3, 4, and when it's half full like this, you just put it on the side of the glass. So this one tells you how much CO2 you have in the tank. And then of course we have the tubing. I chose the clear tubing, but I think they have in many different colors. This is basically everything we need to get started. Of course, we need the actual CO2 bottle as well. So let's go and get that, and on the way home we can also get the aquarium. Okay, whew. I'm now back from the gas man, and I got this huge CO2 bottle. I didn't think pressurized CO2 was this expensive. I think I paid almost 400 euros for this bottle. Don't tell my girlfriend that. This is gonna last me a long time, and I'm gonna connect 4 aquariums to it, and it's gonna give me a lot of joy, most importantly. I also got 2 aquariums. Okay.
Nicht entfernen. Do not remove. Ne pas enlever. Ne pas
So it's now the next day and I've done some off-camera preparations. Over on this side we have everything we need to set up the CO2 system. We now also have a light on the aquarium, which is the Shihiro's C2 RGB, which is a very powerful light. Let me see if I can turn it on. There. Over on this side I added the two remaining posters, which is the Cubaris, isopods, and the Cardinia, fancy shrimp. And then down here we have a selection of Hardscape. Over here we have some normal lava rock, just normal black lava rock. And in this one we have more lava rock, but this one I collected myself on an island in Italy, and this one has some orange, rusty, cool tint to it. We also have a rock that I like to call quarry rock, this brown, sharp, flat, edgy looking rock. And then we have two types of sands, actually three types of sands. This one is like brown, cheap pool filter sand. And this is black lava sand that I collected on the same island. Here we have some white cichlid sand, which I think is way too white for this scape. So I just have it here because I like to have some options. And then we have some, I guess this is small gravel. This is not sand, this is gravel. And then we have three types of wood. This one is redmore root. And then we have a wood that I collected locally. But I'm not sure if I can use this one because it crumbles when you touch it, and that could foul the water. And then we have a bigger piece of driftwood. I don't know what to call this one. This one is way too big, I'm not going to use it. This is what I like to call the mise en place. I even have my trusty wagon here with all the things that I could need. Maybe a hammer, and I don't know, a saw, if you need to measure stuff. Everything that I think that I would need, so I don't have to run to the garage just to get a hammer or to get the machetes here as well. It's very important to have everything on its place so you don't have to run away every time to get something. That really takes away from the enjoyment. One thing I forgot to buy is the frosted film to put on the back panel of the glass, just so we don't see this cable and on the tubings for the coming filter and stuff like that. So we just have to live with this for now. We're gonna try this big piece just to rule it out, and just by putting it inside, not really, it's way too big. And then we have the locally collected piece, which I don't think I'm gonna use. It looks very good. I have two pieces, but I think they are too chunky for this small tank. I guess I could use them in a terrarium or something else. That only leaves us with the redmore root. This piece right here is kinda stopping me from bringing it all the way to the back, so I'm gonna saw this piece off. This is where having everything on its place, ready to go, makes life so much simpler. Yeah, now I can fit it all the way to the back like that. The aquarium is going to be viewed from this side, but also from this side. I'm going to play around with it a bit and see what I come up with. I think this one is just born to be like that, you know, with this kind of swirly thing going on here. But if I would cut this piece and have it kind of like that instead, that would make it look 10 times better. So after many failed attempts on trying to make this redmore wood work, I gave up, trying to tape them and try to see if I could find something, cut pieces off. But I just don't like it. I don't like this wood. So instead of the redmore root, I decided to go with a softer wood, you know, the one I said would probably crumble over time. But I'm not gonna keep this scape for years and years and years. Probably just keep this for a year and then I'll rescape it. And I didn't really like the color of the wood, so I brought it outside and with my burner I charred it. It's called Shou Sugi Ban or something like that. It's an old Japanese tradition where they burn the wood to make it look nicer. What I did afterwards, I just scrubbed it and cleaned it. And now when this wood is so dark, it also fits with the lava rock much better. But before we can do anything, we have to add the aqua soil. So I need to remember exactly this composition. I'm using the aqua soil from Dennerle Plants. So I went outside and I smashed a bigger rock with a hammer. So I have 3 more pieces now because I really want to use the black sand and I cannot do that unless I have sort of like a barrier of rocks that keeps the aqua soil to the back. So this is what aquascaping is really about. Really take your time and not just go with your first try. In between every rock, I'm placing in some filter floss, hoping that this will be held back by the filter floss. Foreground all clean, and I think I now need to pour in the sand just to keep any aqua soil back. Oh, it's very dusty. Alright, starting to look like something. We just need to pray to the aquascaping gods that we can make this work with the wood as well. I think this actually looks good, but I'm not really loving the aqua soil in the back. So what do you think happens if we cap it with the volcanic substrate, the lava sand? So it's been an hour now and I think everything is properly glued together. I would start planting now, but I think I want to fill it with water just to see if it floats or not. So to not stir up the sand too much, I'm going to add some paper here and then I'll go get the hose. So I was just about to call it a day and I was looking at the footage and I saw that the whole structure shifted. So I added a big piece of lava stone there, but then as I added this power head just to push through the water, I heard a crack. And I don't know if you can see that. Let's try to focus on it. Yeah, you can see that the tank has cracked. I probably tightened the light too much and because of that there's now a huge crack in the tank. So it's now the next day and unfortunately the crack is still there. The way I see it now, we have three options. Number one would be to replace the tank entirely. Number two would be to replace the back panel only. But those two options requires me taking down this scape that I spent like 7 hours building. And taking down this scape doesn't exist on the map, as we say in Sweden. You remember when you were a kid and you were playing outside and you fell and you got a hole in your pants and you come home and your mom sew a patch of textile, you know, to cover the hole? That's exactly what I want to do, but with glass and silicone. So I got this setup going on here. I've already measured how thick I want the piece of glass to be. And I'm gonna grab this ruler and then we're gonna clamp it down. This is not a tutorial on how to cut glass, because this is something I have never done before. We're gonna need some oil. Here goes nothing. Oh shit. Well, we try anyway, Woo! Yeah! Let's properly measure it. There we go. Plan is to put the piece on the inside, just like that. This means that there's no longer pressure on the actual crack. Just need to smear some silicone on it. This is gonna look very ugly, but we're gonna cover this with plants. "24 hours has passed and the silicone has cured. I've filled the tank up with water and I've added a filter, which is the Oase Filter Smart 100. It's now time to add the CO2 system. But first we need to prepare everything. We're gonna start by removing this safety cap on the bottle. And then I think I'm gonna screw this on right here. And then you grab this tool that you get with the kit and we're gonna tighten it. Not too hard, we just want to tighten it enough. I don't know really how these works. I just know that this tells you how much CO2 you have left in the actual tank, and this is how much is going out to the bubble counters. I'm guessing. I should have done my research more, but this is what my channel is about. Figuring things out. because I am no pro aquascaper. I'm a serious aquascaper, but I'm no pro aquascaper. First thing I'm gonna do is to fill the bubble counter with water. You can fill it with something else, I think glycerin, glycerin, that doesn't evaporate over time, so you don't have to constantly refill this. But I don't have that at the moment, so I'm just gonna fill it with water. Yeah, and then we can screw the cap back on. We take the bubble counting cap and thread it through this tube. Put the tube on the thingy, just like that. And we screw it on. Tighten it. We can now go ahead and open the cabinet. Take our CO2 bottle, bring the tube up. And then when you have figured out the length, you go ahead and cut it. I highly recommend to get one of these cable cutters. Get a nice clean cut. And to make this easy, the next step, I would just like to have some boiling water. We take the tip and dip it into the boiling water. Take 2 suction cups and thread them through. And then we dip the tip in the boiling water. A few seconds later, we lift it out and we can attach our U-clip. Now the U-clip fits perfectly on the glass like this. We just need to straighten it out with a couple of suction cups and it stays just like that. But first, we need to attach the second tubing. On the other end of the U-clip, I have just a short tubing that is now going to be connected to the diffuser like this. And we simply add it to the tank. I think I forgot the rubber band thingy. I don't know what the rubber band thingy is for. It should be placed. Probably shouldn't do this underwater. And then finally here in the back, I want to add the check vault. We need to make sure that the air can pass through, so the air comes in this direction. So what you can do is just blow it to know which way it fits. All right, what we're gonna do now is to open. I don't know if you can see that, but it says open here. So we're gonna open it. This little arrow has now gone up, meaning that we have CO2. Let's see what happens if we do this. Yeah, we see that thing changing. And then we have a needle valve here. We can open. Kishimo, I forgot to connect this. It doesn't work unless you have electricity. We connect it here. The CO2 connects to a timer that turns on 1 hour before the light turns on, and it turns off 1 hour before the light turns off. Now let's see what happens if we touch the needle valve. Oh, we have CO2. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, it's working a bit too much. We can regulate it here on the needle valve, how much we want. So now that the CO2 is up and running, we can go ahead and add the drop checker on the opposite side, just to know how much CO2 we have in the tank. So the color is blue just because there's no CO2 at all, but if we come back in an hour, this should be vibrant green. So now that we got all the technologia out of the way, we can start planting. 4 months ago, Dennerle sent me some plants for a project I started in the beginning of this year. The tank has grown in a lot since then, and after a big trim the other day, I've now got plenty of cuttings ready to rehome. This plant in particular is called Limnophila hippuridoides. My vision here is that this is the burnt ashes and behind it is the fire burning. Now we have all this empty space in between the wood and the rocks, and I'm gonna place a plant called Alternanthera reineckii red.